You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report's Scoreboard Show, podcast number 281.1. All the sports news from Central Indiana, America's sports hotspot, and America's best sports fans. Featuring the Pacers, Fever, Colts, IndyCar, IU, Purdue, Ball State, and the best high school sports coverage in Central Indiana, your daily audio sports section.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
The fifth conference final that Indiana has been in. They lost the previous four twice to the Knicks. And the shot clock expires, and they'll turn it back to New York with 9.7.
The laughter for Dale Davis. How hard he's worked, pounding the boards. Never gets any credit. Finally got the respect this year as he made his first All-Star team, Dale Davis, ever. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. Well-deserved. The best team all year. They proved it during the regular season and during the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
So the final score, 93-80. The Indiana Pacers on their way to the NBA Finals for the first time in their history.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We are so happy to have you with us today. That, of course, was the great Bill Walton and Tom Hammonds on NBC 25 years ago, Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Will history repeat itself on Saturday night? I am your host, Greg Mengelt, podcasting today from headquarters in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Producer Susie is in the control room. Coming up, we look ahead to the Pacers Game 6 against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals and a chance to advance to the NBA Finals. Those words are so nice. For the second time in franchise history, the Fever were back in action, and we have tons of high school baseball results and a couple of local high school softball sectional championships. Also, a little bit of high school golf, some college World Series results, and, of course, the best news and notes section in all of Central Indiana sports podcasting. But before we get to all of that, I just want to point out just how hard I've been working in the spring postseason with all of the local scoreboards, plus the Pacers and Fever and the Indy 500, all that. All I'm asking for all of my hard work, is that you go to my YouTube page and subscribe so you don't miss a single segment. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. It's easy to find. We're going to have tons of videos to go along with all of these podcasts very soon. Also, as I've said, we've had our high school baseball and softball sectional scoreboard shows, our track and field regional scoreboard shows, and those will continue as long as the postseasons continue. And of course, we'll have boys golf starting pretty soon as well. We'll also continue with all of our Pacers and Fever coverage, IndyCar, and I know we didn't have our IU report with Grant Schaus or our 5 questions with Will Rutherford this week. That's because we've been really busy with the high school stuff and the Pacers. Kind of didn't see the Pacers thing coming, if I'm being totally honest. Anyway, all kinds of good stuff coming up. Another good reason to subscribe to our YouTube channel. After Thursday night's 111-94 loss to the New York Knicks, the Pacers are 1-6 all-time with a trip to the NBA Finals on the line. On Saturday, they look to end that 25-year NBA Finals drought. Game 6 is Saturday at 8, and it's obviously one of the biggest games in Indiana Pacers NBA history. It was 25 years ago Monday that the Pacers clinched a spot in their only NBA Finals to date. That, too, was a Game 6 against the Knicks. Indiana is 11-4 in these playoffs, including 3-0 following losses. However, the Knicks have won 2 of the last 3 games in the series, including Thursday night's dominant win, staving off elimination. Our Pacers guy, Mike Rich, says Saturday is going to be the Pacers' night.
I think the Pacers are going to be ready to play at home. I know the Knicks have had a good record on the road during this playoffs, just as the Pacers have had a really good record, on the road during the playoffs as well. I think Carlisle's going to make adjustments. I think that New York is going to be wore down by the Pacers. I think the tempo is going to be fast. I think the crowd's going to be electric. There's going to be a lot of excitement around Indianapolis tomorrow with this game, and I just think that energy is going to put them over. I think Halliburton. I mean, he took responsibility today. He said that was on him, and he's going to play better in 6, and I'm confident that he is. And I think Halliburton's ready to go to the finals with this team and do it at home.
So tonight's the night, Mike.
Yes, tonight's the night. Don't feel like it's going to go 7. I just have a feeling that the Pacers are going to close it out. I'm excited to put the 25-year drought behind us.
From Miguel Rico's lips to God's ears. Mike and I have been going to Pacers games together since the early 90s, so big night for us. According to Ticketmaster.com, a ticket for the nosebleeds can be had for $250 to Saturday night's games. Otherwise, you can see the game on TNT or the Max app. The Pacers are 3.5-point favorites, according to FanDuel, with a minus 169 money line as of midnight Friday. On Saturday afternoon, we will have our NBA playoffs report with John Robertson. Then following Saturday's Game 6, Mike, John, Will Rutherford, and I will react to Game 6, and we'll have plenty of guests and talk Pacers and Knicks all night and have that for you first thing Sunday morning. The Fever lost their 3rd straight game and their 2nd straight without star Caitlin Clark, 85-83 against the Connecticut Sun, the Fieldhouse on Friday night. The Fever had 5 players in double figures, including DeWanna Bonner and Sophia Cunningham off the bench. Bonner went 3 for 5 from deep, and Cunningham went 7 for 7 at the foul line to help lead a comeback that saw Indiana turn a 15-point deficit early in the 4th quarter to a 78-76 lead with under 3 minutes left. But Bria Harvey hit a big three-pointer that ignited a 9-5 game-ending run that gave Connecticut its first win of the season. Despite foul trouble, Aaliyah Boston led Indiana with 17 points and with 8 assists. Boston played just 26 minutes because of foul trouble throughout the contest. After the game, Boston complained about the foul calls without blatantly complaining about the foul calls.
Such an experience. I think that's pretty hard, especially just me wanting to be that post presence, being able to have to sit or have to kind of back off a little bit just because of how the fouls are being called. You know, I love my money, so I'm going to end the answer there.
The Suns shot 59% from the field and made half of their 23-point attempts and were led by Marina Mabry's 26 points. Tina Charles added 18 but did have 11 turnovers in the win. The Fever's next game is Tuesday at home against the Washington Mystics. Following the game, we will have our first Fever report of the year with John Robertson and Michelle Garvin. You can expect that on Wednesday morning. Kyle Kirkwood was the fastest at Friday's first practice at IndyCar's Detroit Grand Prix. Kirkwood completed the Detroit circuit in 1 minute, 1 second, .75, just ahead of the Penske trio of Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, and Joseph Newgarden. All 4 had rough 500s, with Kirkwood being penalized 24 spots for failing post-race inspection. During Friday's session, Kirkwood and Power came together on the course, and Power pushed Kirkwood down the straightaway to the point where Power's car actually stuck underneath Kirkwood's. It was a very strange scene. Indy 500 champion Alex Palou, who's won 5 of the first 6 races this season, including last Sunday's Indianapolis 500, was surprisingly just 15th fastest. Qualifying is at noon Saturday, with the green flag dropping Sunday at 12:30. Pelot's teammate Scott Dixon won his 4th Detroit Grand Prix last year. We will have a Detroit Grand Prix preview on Saturday. Then Sunday, we will have Dave Chanley's reaction to the Detroit Grand Prix. Andrew Abbott tossed 7 one-hit innings to improve to 5-0. And TJ Friedel, Tyler Stevenson, and Jake Fraley all homered as the Reds beat the Cubs 6-2 on Friday night. The Cubs still lead the Cardinals by 3 games atop the NL Central. St. Louis lost 11-1 at Texas on Friday night. The Brewers are 5 games back after a 6-2 win over East-leading Philadelphia on Friday night. The Reds are now 6.5 games back heading into Saturday's 2:20 first pitch at Wrigley Field. On Thursday, the Reds traded all-star closer Alexis Diaz to the Dodgers for minor league reliever Mike Villani. Villani was the 13th pick out of Long Beach State in the most recent MLB amateur draft and is 2 games into his professional career. He'll likely be sent to Dayton. The Dodgers won Game 1 of their World Series rematch with the Yankees 8-5 on Friday night. Shohei Ohtani hit his 22nd home run of the year for the Dodgers, and Aaron Judge hit his 19th home run of the year for the Yankees. Alexandria won its 5th softball sectional championship in program history on Friday night, and its first since 2017 with a hard-fought 3-2 win over Blackford in the Blackford sectional championship game. The Tigers overcame an early 2-0 deficit behind a pair of Riley Thomas RBIs and a Kenley Webb home run, and a complete game 10 strikeout performance from Brinley Humphreys. Thomas hit a 2-out single in the bottom of the 7th to drive in Natalie Morrow with the game-winning run. 7-12 Blackford scored its 2 runs on Jordan Gephardt's single in the 2nd inning. It's going to be a crazy week for Alexandria star Jacqueline Hosier. She'll help lead the 19-1 Tigers against defending regional champion LaPel Tuesday at the regional at LaPel, and will participate in the Indiana All-Star Games Friday in Louisville and Saturday in Indianapolis for Team Indiana. Alexandria beat LaPel 5-1 on its way to a Madison County Tournament championship in mid-April. Southwood won a thriller by scoring twice in the 7th for a 5-4 win over rival North Miami in Friday's Class A North Miami Sectional Championship. Natalie Supfin threw a complete game for the win and helped herself out with her first home run of the year. Rowan Goodpasture went 2 for 3 with a double and scored twice for the 19-10 Knights. In the Class A Sectional Championship at Frontier, Clinton Prairie crushed rival Carroll 12-1. The 19-8 Gophers scored 5 times in the first in the dominating performance. Sadie Welliver allowed just 6 hits and one unearned run. Katie Fear now went 3 for 4 and scored 3 times, and Alexis Perez hit 2 doubles and drove in 3 runs for the Gophers. Bree Hoke went 2 for 2 and scored the 13-8 Cougars' only run in the loss. There were just a handful of local high school sectional baseball games on Friday, with most of the sectionals resuming on Saturday. We had a couple of classics in the semifinals at the 4A sectional at Carmel. In the opener, number 4 Fishers beat number 9 Zionsville 5-4, and in the nightcap, Luke Collinsworth no-hit Carmel in number 11 Westfield's 5-0 win over the 12th-ranked Greyhounds. Dylan Rupp had 3 RBIs for Fishers, and Gavin Russ drove in 3 runs for Westfield. It'll be 25-5 Fishers against 20-9 Westfield in the championship game at Carmel on Monday at 6. Clinton Prairie had 15 hits and beat number 2 Rossville 12-10 in a big sectional semifinal in Class A's sectional 54. The 18-7 and 4th-ranked Gophers will play Clinton Central, an 8-5 winner over Carroll in the second semifinal. The Bulldogs are 11-12 after scoring 6 times in the 7th inning on Friday. So it's Clinton Prairie against Clinton Central for the sectional championship Monday at 6. The Gophers won the regular season matchup 11-0 on May 8th. And in the Class A sectional at Anderson Prep, the host Jets and rival Liberty Christian earned berths in Monday's 6 p.m. championship game with big wins. Liberty beat Tinley 22-1 and APA beat Indiana Def 20-3. Anderson Prep entered the tournament with just 1 win and the Lions had just 2. They both enter Monday night's championship game with 3 wins. The only varsity sport not yet in the postseason is high school golf. We did have a handful of meets on Friday. Tri-Central beat Elwood and Marion in a 3-way meet with a team score of 178, 7 shots better than the runner-up Panthers. Tanner England was the medalist for the Trojans with a 42. Marion was led by Keith Shelton's 54. Tipton finished 10th out of 16 teams at the 36-hole Vincennes Invitational. Calvin Condick and Preston Lancaster both shot 153s to lead the Blue Devils. Eastern bested Mechanic-Wall 161 to 188 in a dual meet Friday at Chippendale on Eastern Senior Night. The 161 was the Comets' best 9-hole score of the year, and Gabe Gomez was the medalist with a career-best 38 with 8 pars and a double bogey. Also for Eastern, Cohen Johnson shot a 40, Sam Tarivo a 41, and Mitchell Day a 42. The newest high school golf polls are out, and Westfield is still number 1. Zionsville leapfrogged Homestead for number 2 and also received 3 first-place votes. Garin Catholic is 4th, Noblesville 7th, Hamilton Southeastern 11, Carmel 12, Pendleton Heights is 14th, and Eastbrook 18th. The girls' tennis team semi-states are Saturday at Center Grove, Jasper, Homestead, and Culver. There are 2 different semi-states at each site. On one side of the bracket, 4th-ranked Westfield will face number 19 Homestead at Homestead, and number 6 Fishers will take on number 12 Chittard at Center Grove. If the Shamrocks and Tigers both win, they'll meet in the state finals opening round next Friday at North Central. Also on that side of the bracket, it's 9th-ranked Evansville Memorial at number 3 Jasper, and number 18 Columbus North at number 17 Center Grove. On the other side of the draw, number 1 Brebeuf, off of its big win over number 2 Carmel, will face reigning state champion South Bend St. Joe at Culver Academy. Number 21 Providence and number 25 Terre Haute South will square off at Jasper. 15th ranked Penn and number 9 Carroll will play at Homestead, and number 26 Harrison will battle number 11 Munster at Culver Academy. In the individual tennis tournament, Mount Vernon junior Caroline Allen is 20-0 and will take on Franklin's Natsuki Moore. University's 22-3 junior Laurel Buttrick will take on Hammond Knowles' Sophia Nowaki. And in doubles, Mount Vernon's number 1 doubles team of senior Carmen Lugo and senior Kylie Brandis is 22-0 and will take on Franklin's senior duo of Catherine Pinnock and Malia Murphy. Now to the best news and notes section in all of Central Indiana sports podcasting. IU junior Michaela Hunter got the last transfer spot in Friday's shot put event at the women's track and field regional at Jacksonville, Florida. Hunter finished 12th with a heave of 55 feet 2 3/4 inches to advance to next week's NCAA championships at Eugene, Oregon. Purdue sophomore Bodie Wilkerson will also advance to the Nationals by finishing 7th in the high jump by clearing 7 feet 1 3/4 inches. IU's varsity 8 rowing team made the semifinal round at the women's NCAA championships at West Windsor, New Jersey. The Hoosiers finished 3rd in their heat behind Yale and Texas. The performance guarantees the Hoosiers a top 12 spot in the nation, the program's best finish since 2017. And former Ben Davis star Sean Arnold is transferred to IU Indy just a day after the school announced Ben Howlett as its new head coach. Arnold averaged 3.5 points and 3 rebounds last year at St. Thomas Aquinas. Florida and Ole Miss were the first 2 teams eliminated from the College Softball World Series on Friday. Number 7 Tennessee knocked off the 3rd-ranked Gators 11-3 in Friday's first elimination game. Then Oregon beat Mississippi 6-5 on a walk-off bases-loaded base-on balls in the bottom of the 10th inning. Thursday's winners, Oklahoma, Texas, UCLA, and Texas Tech, will go head-to-head Saturday to see who will be the last 2 remaining unbeatens. It's number 6 Texas against number 2 Oklahoma at 3 on ABC in a huge rivalry game. Then it's number 9 UCLA against number 12 Texas Tech at 7 on ESPN. We'll have more on the World Series and the NCAA baseball tournament throughout the weekend and, in the case of baseball, the next couple of weeks. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Hey, we could really use your help spreading the word about the Central Indiana Sports Report. Please share this podcast with as many people as you possibly can. We humbly thank you in advance. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.